Do you know who won't play tomorrow night?
Who won't play? Mitch.
Thanks.
And that's all I know for sure. Yeah, I mean we could probably guess, but I'm just going to wait another 12 hours and be sure what's happening. If you can pin Josh down, he could probably tell you better than me.
So what would make you hopeful of title at the moment? It's not ruling out now. What chance is he?
I think Todd has to get cleared from a surgeon. That's all I know, and I don't expect he'll play, but he's practiced 3 days in a row. So if he's not playing this weekend, he'll be, I'm guessing, playing the next game. But I don't want to speak for the surgeon because I think he has to see him and clear him and check him. But I think by all accounts, he's ahead of schedule.
Have you been surprised by how quickly he's recovered?
I guess yes, just because they told me how long he was supposed to be out for. No, because I don't have any medical knowledge, so I wasn't really sure what the actual injury was other than what I'm reading on paper. But being told that he's going to be out for X number of weeks and then he's back a little bit sooner, and I think he looked really good all week. So I'd be hopeful that he's going to play, but I don't expect it, and I am excited about him finally getting back in the lineup though when he does, because he's looked really good this week.
Should we expect Michael Fraser and Jack Purchase to be playing?
I would expect them to play. Yeah.
Kevin White, full training today, or how did he look?
Yeah, he was full training today, so he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. If all goes well. I'm always going to knock on wood or say if all goes well or anything to not, like I said last time, hex anybody. Not that I'm ridiculously superstitious, but I just don't want to take any chances. You never know what works and what doesn't. So we're expecting Kevin to play for sure. Yeah, it was good to have him back today, full go.
Is he fully recovered? I mean, how sort of serious was the doubt that he kind of had?
I don't think it was anything too serious. I mean, you always want to be cautious with everything that happens, whether you have sniffles or whether something more serious. We're always going to be cautious, just to make sure we're protecting the long term and not just of the team, but of the player himself. So I don't think, in hindsight, it was that serious. Same with Travers. His thing was very minor, but we just wanted to make sure he was good. And I think everyone that was out there was feeling pretty good today.
Scott, do you know what to expect from your team that you'll put out there tomorrow, given it's been such a short turnaround for yourself and getting introduced to these players?
Well, I expect them to play hard. I expect them to play together, play with a lot of heart, toughness, get on the floor, dive for loose balls. Kind of all a big package of stuff we're kind of calling intangibles. We were disappointed in that category the first couple games of the Blitz, and as a team, kind of had a heart-to-heart talk with each other and ourselves, and realized that that's not the Perth way. It's not what's going to be the way that gets us to where we want to get to. So the last 3 games were much better, and I know the guys kind of will maybe refer to that in the future, those first 2 games, and as a low bar that they never want to hit again. So I'm quite confident that whoever's watching the game tomorrow night is going to see 10, 12 guys leaving all they have on the floor.
Do you have an understanding, or how good is your understanding of what is your best lineup at the moment?
I think the answer to all those type of questions depends on who the other team has out there. So, I mean, if you wanted to pick in a vacuum our best 5 players, I could do that. But basketball is a game of matchups, and the thing about Adelaide is they can put kind of 3 different looks out there. They can go really big. They can go really small and fast. We've seen both those, and then we're kind of a mix of both, where they play with one big, some bigger wings and some quick guards. So that's the biggest challenge this week, is them having no real games, not much to go on. I don't think you can really put too much stock into how they played in the Blitz. They were mixing things up. So we prepared the best we can for whatever they might throw at us, and job one will be kind of taking care of the stuff that we're trying to do with our systems and being the best we can with that, and then maybe adjust our substitutions based on who they have out there a little bit.
How have you found the offensive side coming together? It seems as though it's pretty explosive and pretty exciting. How have you found that coming to, and has it got to where you want it to be ahead of tomorrow night?
I wouldn't say it's where I want it to be. I guess as a coach, you always got to try and improve and never be satisfied, same as if you're a player. But I do think there's been some great improvements, and guys are getting more comfortable with the plays that we're running, with the style that we're playing, and with each other, with the new players and the returning guys. So I've been pleased with the progress. Obviously, we want it to keep trending upward. And at the end of the day, we still want to hang our hat defensively because, even as good as the offense can be, there are going to be days where you go cold or shots rim out or, you miss a couple of wide open looks that were generated by a good offense. And defense is something that home or away, hot shooting, cold shooting, it's always going to be there. It's based on effort and instincts and playing together and trusting each other. So we want to make sure that's taken care of every night. And then if the shots fall and we take care of defense, then we should be in good position.
We haven't seen Vic, Bryce, and Michael Frazier on the court together yet throughout the preseason. Are you excited about what that combination could look like once, if it occurred? We would assume it would occur at some point tomorrow night.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I hope we get to see it tomorrow night. If all goes well, we should. And, that's kind of how we built the team. We want to have an explosive kind of wing, versatile players that can play different positions, can play both sides of the ball. And that's how we basically, attacked our offseason signings. And I think Danny did a great job with all that stuff. So we can't see the full fruition of it until we get everyone healthy. Hopefully that will come soon enough. But definitely excited to see just kind of our speed and our aggressive attack when those guys are out there, because I think it's going to be tough to key on any one guy.
Is Frazier fit enough physically to start, or does he need to be managed still like he was during the blitz?
As far as I know, I think he's going to be managed a little bit, but hopefully not too much. And at least relatively speaking, he's pretty physically fit. He's a specimen. So it's just a matter of getting him all healthy, and you'll see when he gets out there, he's explosive and powerful, and he's going to be a factor on both ends.
How nice has this been for you to have maybe a little bit more sort of continuity, being in the one spot for an extended period of time and bringing this team together?
It's been great, just even being in the facility here, because we have the office, we have the room for the guys to meet and get their treatment, and place for the coaches to meet and watch film, and just been nice compared to being on the road for 2 weeks where we're always trying to find a film room or a locker room, and practice times are different. So I've really enjoyed it. It's only been a few days, but it's nice to have a place to call home and be able to set up shop and get into a bit of a routine. I'm a big routine guy, so this month is going to be easy to get into one, and hopefully we can make the most of it.
And are these a team issue or something that you brought along from the US, perhaps the kicks?
If you don't know about those, you better Google them. But I have a nice, not a crazy shoe collection, but was only able to bring a few pairs, which was kind of heartbreaking for me. But I chose all the red trim I could bring for sure.
How about scouting report? Being over in Tasmania, do you feel like you've got a good understanding of what you're up against, not only tomorrow night but the rest of the competition?
Personnel-wise, we do. We saw everyone's players. We a lot of them have been in the league for a long time, and if not, we have lots of film on everybody. So I think our personnel scout will be pretty strong. But like I said earlier, we're not really sure how they're going to play, what type of combination of lineups they're going to bring. And I'm guessing they saved a lot of stuff in terms of their play calling and things like that for the regular season. So I guess we got to prepare best we can for the guys we're going to see individually, try and make things difficult for them, take away their strengths, and then be ready for anything. And we try to have our systems so that scouting is, I don't want to say less important, but we can adjust on the fly based on how we play in general. But there's always going to be some wrinkles that we see that we weren't ready for, and just try to hold the fort while we kind of add those rules to our system throughout the course of the season.
Is there a danger player? I mean, I was speaking to them yesterday. Of course, they're sort of saying Bryce Cotton, although you have other sort of scoring ability, but for them, they're like, really crucial to shutting down the game. For you, looking at their team, who's sort of their main playmaker that you have some concerns about?
Yeah, it's tough. How much time do we have? I guess the first guy that I'd be concerned with is Daniel Johnson, just because he's a crafty player. He can get to the free throw line, which is a double-edged sword. He gets you in foul trouble and gets to the line to get points. He can pick and pop for threes. He can also roll to the rim and punish people inside. So he's definitely near the top of the scouting report. Dusty Hannes is a new import they have from the States, who's a great shooter. If he gets hot, it's going to be real tough to slow him down, so we got to make sure he doesn't get anything easy early on. Mitch Mccarron is no stranger to the league. I think he was all NBL, at least at one of the teams last season. He kind of organizes everything. He's a great defender. He's a hard guy to trick on the defensive side of the ball. He's very solid. Then you have Withers, Barstow. Humphreys, all these guys have played at very high levels and been very successful. So it's kind of why I'm not really sure how they're going to come at us. Sunday Deck is another guy, really impacts the game with his slashing and his defense. We expect him to be matched up with Bryce at some point in time. So I guess we're more familiar with them, or at least I am, because we played them twice. But doesn't make it any easier because they have a really deep roster and can go to a lot of different ways with it.
Dusty and Kev finished with a bit of tension in the last game. Expect that tension to carry over into this game.
I've only known Kevin for a short time, but I expect tension to follow him wherever he goes. He's a hard-nosed defender. He's a big-time competitor. I think some people refer to Nordo as the wombat, and my limited experience with Australian animals, I would say Kev's more of a Tasmanian devil. He looks nice and friendly, but you don't want to put your hand in the pen because it might get snapped off. So it's the kind of guy you want on your side when you go to battle. You just got to make sure he keeps his head and uses it in all that energy and toughness in a positive way, which I'm sure he will.
It looked like there's a bit of Dusty saying, wait till next time. Do you think Kev would be more than happy to see him next time?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to say anything that another team can use against us or a person, but I'm pretty sure that these guys, Kevin, Mitch, Jesse, Bryce, Vic, all the guys that have been around in this league know it's a tough league. The guys all seem to be friendly off the floor, but when the ball goes up, there's no more friendships, at least for 40 minutes, which I kind of like that. So I don't think there'll be any surprises when the ball goes up Friday or any other game for that matter. It's going to be 28 games or 27 games, whatever it is tough. You don't have much room for error, and every game counts. There's no nights off. You got to bring it every night, and that includes being tough and physical and not worrying about what the other guy thinks of you.
Do you know if Mitch Clark will get a deadbeat spot? He was a pressing trip.
Mitch has been great. I hope. To be honest, that's not in my my job description or pay grade to make the final decision. Obviously, I had some input with Danny and the ownership group in the front office, so I think a decision is being made today. But he's definitely earned his spot on the team with his play. He went to the blitz not expecting to get any minutes. Played a lot. Gave it all he had. Chased guys around for whatever minutes we gave him. Hit open shots. Set up the offense under heavy ball pressure at different times. So we've been really pleased with how he's kind of responded to his increased role, and I'd feel confident personally if we had to throw him out there for a few minutes to stem the tide or chase someone around or whatever the job might call on.
How are you feeling ahead of your first official game in charge of the Wildcats and everything that comes with that?
Yeah, everyone's doing their best to put the pressure on me, for sure. That's been the case since I got the job, I think. Pretty much every interview or conversation I've had has talked about the past and the pressure and all the other stuff, and I keep saying the same thing. Taking this job was a lot of pressure, both personally on my family to move here and even on my career. I came here to prove that I can lead a team. Obviously, the players are what's going to make or break any coach, but I wanted to prove that I can organize a team and lead a team at this level. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself taking this chance to start with. Lucky I'm in good hands with the organization and the players that we have. I think they're going to be great to work with and make me look good lots of times, hopefully. So I guess it's hard to top that pressure. But I understand there's an expectation here, and definitely when I wake up in the morning, I want to live up to the expectations that the team has for me and the fans have for the team and the community has for everything that we're doing. So I'm aware of it, but I can't let it really affect what I'm doing. I'm going to try and be my best every day no matter what, and I know the guys are the same way. A lot of them have lived with this pressure longer than I have, so I'm not worried about them getting distracted. And we talked the first day that I was here about, it's kind of obvious what our goals are, and the important thing is that we focus every day on the process of reaching those goals, and that's a day-by-day thing, not a big picture thing. So narrow it down, focus on the process, and today the process is just to make sure we're ready to play Adelaide, and tomorrow will be make sure we're at our best to try and beat Adelaide.